Tired of juggling multiple systems to get the full customer picture in Zendesk? The API Data Sync app is your game changer. Imagine having every piece of crucial customer data, from order history and subscription status to product details and internal system information, instantly accessible within your Zendesk tickets. This powerful app bridges the gap between Zendesk and any external system via its API, empowering your agents with real-time context to resolve issues faster and deliver exceptional support. Let's unlock the full potential of your customer data with a quick and easy installation. First, you'll need to install the API Data Sync app from the Zendesk Marketplace. You can go to the link provided below, or in Zendesk, go to Admin Center, then look for Zendesk Support Apps. When you're on Zendesk Marketplace, search for Knott's API Data Sync. Once you're on the app's page, click the Install button. Then, select the specific Zendesk instance where you want to install the app. You'll be redirected to your Zendesk admin space, so make sure you have admin rights. You can also rename the app from its default API Data Sync by Knott's, or set role and group restrictions as needed. Finally, click Install to complete the app setup in Zendesk. Once installed, it's time to access the app within your Zendesk agent workspace. From the top right corner of your Zendesk interface, click the 4-square icon, then select Support. Look for the API Data Sync by Knott's app icon on the left-hand panel. If you don't see it immediately, click the 3 dots at the bottom left to reveal any hidden apps. To configure the app, you'll need to connect it to your Knots.io account. On the app's initial settings page, click the Login button. This will prompt you to either create a new Knots account or log in with your existing credentials. Before you can pull data, you'll need to set up a connector to your external data source. Inside the API Data Sync app in Zendesk, click Setup Connector. This will redirect you to the Knots.io connectors console in your browser. In the Knots.io console, choose a connector type that fits your needs. You can either select a predefined connector for systems like Azure or SharePoint, or create a generic connector using methods like Basic Auth, API Key, or OAuth. We also have a comprehensive connector setup guide linked below. To save, click on the Setup Connector button. After setting up the connector in Knots.io, switch back to Zendesk and click Refresh within the API Data Sync app to load your new connector into the list. Remember, some connector types might not be compatible with all service types. If you're unsure or encounter issues, don't hesitate to reach out to our support team at support@knots.io. With your connector ready, it's time to define the trigger that will fetch your data. Start by giving your trigger a clear, recognizable name and add a unique tag to ensure it runs only once per ticket, preventing loops. In the API section, choose your load type, get API data to pull from an external service, or get follow-up ticket data for information from an older ticket. Fill out the required relative URL path to the service, which appends to your connector's base URL. You can use Zendesk placeholders for dynamism. Pick the appropriate HTTP request method, GET, POST, PUT, DELETE, or PATCH, based on your integration needs. You can also add any necessary HTTP headers for authentication. Next, in the Parse Results section, you'll define how the incoming response data maps to Zendesk. Enter the path to the source property in result object, like data.user.email, which is the path to the specific data you want to extract from the JSON response. If you're unsure how to find the path, use our JSON Pathfinder tool, linked in the description. Then, choose where to store this data in Zendesk by selecting a destination field to store value, which can be any ticket field, including comments. You can also configure response value mapping to transform values from your source field to specific Zendesk field options. You can also set up value conditions to trigger actions based on numerical values from your API response. Click Add Value Conditions, set the operator to compare source value, a minimum value, for example 10 for stock quantity, and define a tag to be added when conditions are met. Finally, click Save and Activate to finish setting up your trigger. You can further manage this trigger in the Zendesk Admin Center to configure additional conditions. We'd recommend doing some tests to ensure everything is working as expected. Create a new test ticket in your Zendesk instance and observe the app's behavior. The trigger should execute, retrieve the specified data, and the response should be correctly stored in your chosen ticket field. Review the trigger details within the app. Check the category, conditions, and payload structure, and modify any restrictions as needed to refine execution. If needed, make any final adjustments to perfect your setup. Make sure that all settings align precisely with your business requirements, adjust trigger conditions or tags for optimal efficiency, and refine your data retrieval paths or connector settings if necessary to ensure accurate and reliable data flow. I'll show you how it works. I've set up a configuration where the API data sync will automatically get the customer's order ID based on the customer's email address. It will update the order number field and the customer name field. Looking into our test ticket, you'll see that the customer's name is updated and the order number field is filled. The tag API_data_sync is an indicator that the trigger ran. We hope you found this video helpful. You are now equipped to bring powerful external data directly into your support workflow, empowering your agents and enhancing your customer service. If you have any questions or need further assistance, don't hesitate to reach out at support@knots.io. Thank you for watching.